So welcome back. Thank you. Hope you got your coffee. Um, I don't care. I'm not a coffee drinker, but if you got your tea or your water or whatever, thank you very much. We're with Chelsea Smith. Chelsea, welcome.
Thank you.
Nice to meet you. We have not met, but we're glad to have you here. Just a reminder to everybody and a reminder to Chelsea, this is the first annual No Place Like Home Symposium. Our goal is to maybe introduce you to some resources, some ideas, some concepts, and if we can, maybe a little pat on the backside to get moving, to get some planning done, to get prepared. Because life tends to happen. Was it John Lennon said that life happens while we're busy making other plans. So we're trying to provide some information. So Chelsea's going to talk to us a little bit about some of the health effects. Now,
No, she's family caregiver.
oh, sorry. You're going to talk to us about the Family Caregiver Navigator. And I have to apologize to everyone. I don't know what that is. So I'm as excited as anybody to find out what you're going to provide to us. You've come highly recommended. So I'll shut up now and turn the floor over to you.
Great. Well, thanks so much. My name is Chelsea Smith, and I am the Communications and Project Coordinator for the Family Caregiver Navigator, which is a project of the Idaho Caregiver Alliance out of the Center for the Study of Aging at Boise State. So that's a long introduction.
Could you make that a little longer?
Yeah.
I mean, that's your entire elevator speech right there, just the name.
Well, and you haven't even seen all the logos for all our community partners. But there's a lot of people involved in this project, and we're really excited about it. And actually, one of the biggest objectives of this program is to keep Idahoans healthy and happy and in their homes as long as possible as they age. So this is a really perfect fit. And it's a free program. It's a pilot program from the Idaho Caregiver Alliance. So I'd love to tell you about how we're trying to reduce burnout and promote well-being for Idaho caregivers.
Well, and I think just add this in before you get going and maybe bring it home a little bit. Burnout really is so hard on relationships. When people just are so tired and they're burnout and they have no more patience and they're frustrated. And I've seen them talk sharply to a mom or a dad who doesn't understand, don't know why you're mad at them. And so, yes, thank you. Take us through.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we see a lot of focus on the people who are receiving care out there, understandably. But the fact of the matter is there are caregivers who are struggling a lot, especially right now during COVID. We know this. And you know, research shows that a happy caregiver is a happier and healthier patient as well. So that's our whole objective, is to kind of switch the focus onto caregivers and make sure that they're supported and getting what they needed so that they're healthy and the care recipient is healthy, and that we can try and reduce some of that stress that is added to relationships during these times. So it is a free service, and we are serving caregivers across the lifespan. So that means, you know, as long as you're an 18 plus adult, who is supporting someone with a physical, intellectual, cognitive disability or mental health condition, you can participate. So that's and that's in Southwest Idaho right now, because this is a pilot project. We're really hoping to move statewide in 2022. And it's an options counseling and resource referral service via telephone that uses an evidence-based intervention that's based on a lot of research. So I'll just kind of walk you through it. The model here is that a lot of times caregivers come to us through professionals, through folks who are working with caregivers, you know, care coordinators, transition coordinators, social workers, doctors, but caregivers can refer themselves to this program. All you need to do is go to caregivernavigator.org or give us a call, and I'll give you that info later. But essentially, the caregiver connects with a navigator who will go through an assessment with them that assesses their stress, their relationship, their pain points, and then generates a list of recommendations. And together they build some goals with some resources and referrals that are based here in Idaho. So it's kind of like an options counseling process that's, again, focused exclusively on the caregiver, although we do obviously consider the care recipient because their health and their level of functionality is going to impact the caregiver as well. So the benefits of this is that it is personal and it can help somebody if they've just started in their caregiving journey or if they've been doing this for 30 years. This is a service that can hopefully help anyone, no matter where they're at in that journey. And it's specific because we're really focused on Idaho resources that are, explicitly there to address common caregiver stress points. There's no formal eligibility requirements for this program. We are funded by Medicaid, but you don't need to be Medicaid eligible to participate in the program as a caregiver or the recipient. So we're really excited about that because, there's a lot of things out there that are great resources, but require a lot of jumping through hoops to get those resources, and this is not one of them. We are literally a hotline that you can call and enroll in the program right away. It's very supportive. We have a really professional team that has great professional background, but they also have caregiving experience. So we know that just having those conversations sometimes with someone who understands is helpful to take a little bit of the stress off. And then of course it's free, which everybody likes, right? Can't complain about that. So, we talking to caregivers and working with caregivers all the time, these are some quotes that we hear commonly. People think of themselves as a husband or a mother or an adult child. They don't think of themselves as caregivers often. Sometimes we hesitate to call ourselves a caregiver. Maybe if we have an elderly parent who's still, living independent, we don't think of ourselves as a caregiver. But if you're providing support, whether it's functional support, emotional support, on a daily basis, on a weekly basis, by our definition, you're a caregiver. And we know that there are people out there who are feeling guilty because it's stressful, because it's not always fun. We know that it's putting stress on relationships, that people are experiencing self-doubt, that they don't know if they're up to these tasks of caregiving, that it's stressful. And so, we hear these kinds of things all the time. I feel so guilty sometimes because I don't want to take care of him all the time. I just want to live my life. Well, you're not alone if you're feeling any of these things. It's very common. And luckily, this program kind of really digs into some of that and addresses some of those issues. And I'll get into that with how we can help caregivers.
So Chelsea, I have a question.
Yeah, absolutely.
Does this make people a bad person if they have these concerns and they just feel overwhelmed and they just can't do it? They're just a bad person, right?
There's nothing more normal than being overwhelmed by caregiving, frankly, because not only the time involved, that we have the money, we know that people are financially impacted by caregiving. 70% of Idahoans are working while they're caregiving.
Oh, my.
So, we have job performance being impacted. And then of course, just the stress it puts on families. I mean, this is that kind of extra layer of stress that really nobody wants in their lives. So, but we feel this obligation to help our loved ones, and that's understandable. But I think, like as your previous panelists were saying too, we don't have to do this alone. We can have these support systems and just build on our family support systems, because this is something that is going to affect, it's going to affect every family at one time or another, either as a caregiver or receiving care. So yeah, thanks for pointing that out, Mark, because there's no reason that anyone should feel guilty.
You're not a bad person.
No.
Oh my gosh.
No, it's not. It's something people sign up for originally, not the level that is often needed.
No.
So it's completely understandable. So we partner with a software platform called TCare that is based on 35 years of research by Dr. Rhonda Montgomery out of University of Wisconsin-Madison. And this, a version of this program has been implemented in some various other states, including Alaska and Washington. And in Washington, the program was shown to reduce long-term care use by 20% and delay nursing home placement by 21 months. And participants who were in the program for at least 6 months had significant reductions in depression and stress, even with caregiving duties increasing. So that's really exciting. We really want to really go gung-ho with this program in Idaho so we can prove to policymakers and people in the state level that this is important, taking care of caregivers, and we want to see these kind of results here. So we have a team of 3 navigators for the pilot. We have Mary Holden, who's from the Justice Alliance for Vulnerable Adults out of the Center for the Study of Aging. She has background in gerontology and social work. We have Tiffany Robb from the Center for Study of Aging, who's a research associate, great experience with the intellectual developmental disabilities community and traumatic brain injury. And then we have Michelle Randall from the AAA, who has experience with our veteran communities. So we have a breadth of experience, even in our small team, that we hope can touch different types of caregivers. Now, when you go through the assessment, we look at, these are the factors that we look at. We look at the relationship that you have with your care recipient. We look at the objective burden, which means kind of those actual tasks. How much time is it taking? How much money? How much resources? And then we look at the stress. How does it feel? And then we also look at identity discrepancy, which you also touched on in the last session, which looks at, how do I feel as a daughter versus as a caregiver? And how do those identities kind of sometimes don't always integrate or don't always mesh? I have certain ideas about what it means to be a daughter, and an adult daughter, and how my parents should be. And if I'm becoming a caregiver to them, some of those things can conflict. And yeah, as a daughter, I didn't necessarily sign up to be a caregiver, but I might find myself in that position. And how can I reconcile those different aspects of my identity? And how can they kind of coexist peacefully? So after the assessment, the navigator will work with the caregiver to build a care plan. And this really looks at your personal goals and takes kind of bite-sized, steps, baby steps towards how can we take positive steps, whether it's, whether it's something as simple as, reaching out to your husband's family to say that you need more help than you're getting, or whether it's something more complicated, such as applying for a certified family homes, program so that you can be compensated for the time that you're taking care of your family member. So, we look at different solutions, and it's really customized for the individual, and we create goals with them that caregivers, are hopefully feeling excited about as well. And this just gives you a little snapshot of kind of the kind of thing you'll see in a care plan. And it kind of outlines what the caregiver will do, what the navigator will do, and then it shows you your results in terms of how your stress and depression is doing, how functional your care recipient is, and really how many hours you're taking care of that person. And so if we do this a couple times over the course of a year, we can see hopefully some improvement. And again, the good thing about this being a flexible program is that if things change, you can call up and change your care plan at any time. We can work with you to adjust because we know that things change quickly sometimes. These are just a list of our partners, so you can see some of the people that we're working with to ensure that we are, really working with the existing systems and services that are out there. We have great partnerships so that we can really plug people in directly into the front door whenever possible, so that people aren't kind of starting at the beginning. Our whole goal is to make this less stressful for caregivers. Before I wrap up, because I know I only have 15 minutes, I just want to show you very quickly our website, so you can just see how you can get started. And here you see, you can take the caregiver screener. This would give you, it's a short screener, gives you a taste of what the full assessment would be like. And you get some initial results. And then a navigator will reach out to you to see if you'd like to participate in the full assessment. And then if you have a caregiver in mind that you'd like to refer, with their permission, you can submit a referral, and we will reach out to the caregiver twice in a 48-hour period to make sure that they get the support that they need to the extent that we can help them. So I don't want to go over my time, so I'll end there, but I am going to be on Facebook at 1 p.m. to answer any questions about the program. So thank you so much for having me.
Thank you. Now, when you go through the assessment, is there a button for how selfish you are? I am so selfish because I'm reaching out for some help.
No selfish button
Okay.
for this. In fact, we're encouraging caregivers to be a little bit more selfish and focus on themselves a little bit more, because it benefits the whole family.
Now, and I know that's difficult. And again, I think we talked a little bit about that in the previous session. We feel this guilt, or we identify it as guilt, and it's not really guilt. We've got those signals mixed up. It is some grieving, and I get it, but this is not about being selfish. This is about being able to do this for a long period of time.
Yes.
And we all need some help, and this is a way to get that help without a prescription, without going down to the liquor store. And so this is a huge program. And Chelsea, thank you so much for joining us today. I will recommend this strongly, so strongly. It may not be perfect, right? Because we're not perfect, but good grief, a little bit of support, a little bit of help is going to make your life so much better. So thank you. Thank you. So the best way to get hold of you again is go online.
Go to caregivernavigator.org. And then our phone number Monday through Friday is 208-426-5899.
All right. Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.